Think you know NASA? Prove it! From moon landings to Mars rovers, this quiz will test your space knowledge like never before. Ready for the challenge? Let's begin. In what year did NASA officially begin operations? (1958). Which law created NASA? National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. Who was NASA's first administrator? T. Keith Glennon. Who was the first American in space? Alan Shepard. Who was the first American to orbit the Earth? John Glenn. Who was the first human in space? Yuri Gagarin. On what date did Apollo 11 land on the Moon? July 20th, 1969. Who was the first person to walk on the Moon? Neil Armstrong. How many crew members were on the Apollo 11 mission? 3. How many Apollo missions successfully landed humans on the Moon? 6. Which Apollo mission was the last to land humans on the Moon? Apollo 17. What was the name of NASA's first space shuttle orbiter? Columbia. In what year did the space shuttle first fly? (1981). Which space shuttle disaster occurred in 1986? Challenger. Which space shuttle was lost during re-entry in 2003? Columbia. In what year was the Hubble Space Telescope launched? 1990. Which rover landed on Mars in 2021? Perseverance. Which was NASA's first successful Mars rover, 1997? Sojourner. Which mission performed the first reconnaissance flyby of Pluto? New Horizons. In what year were the Voyager probes launched? 1977. Who was the first American woman in space? Sally Ride. What is the name of NASA's program to return humans to the Moon, 2020s? Artemis. Which NASA center is located in Houston, Texas? Johnson Space Center. Which NASA center manages most U.S. crew launches from Cape Canaveral? Kennedy Space Center. What does ISS stand for? International Space Station. What was America's first space station? Skylab. Which NASA telescope, launched in 2009, searched for exoplanets? Kepler. When was the James Webb Space Telescope launched? 2021. Which mission collected a sample from asteroid Bennu? OSIRIS-REx. What does NASA stand for? National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Which US president set the goal to land a person on the moon by the end of the 1960s? John F. Kennedy. Who performed the first American spacewalk? Ed White. Which NASA program directly preceded Apollo and focused on two-person missions? Gemini. Which Apollo mission first carried humans to orbit the moon? Apollo 8. What is the name of NASA's Mars helicopter that achieved powered flight on another planet? Ingenuity. Which telescope produced the original Hubble Deep Field images? Hubble Space Telescope. Which mission studied Saturn and its moon Titan for many years? Cassini. Which mission returned the first lunar samples from the Apollo era? Apollo 11. Which rocket launched the Apollo lunar missions? Saturn V. Which rocket launched the Curiosity rover to Mars, 2011? Atlas V. What does NACA, NASA's predecessor, stand for? National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Which jet is commonly used by NASA to train astronauts? T-38 Talon. Which NASA telescope discovered thousands of exoplanets? Kepler. What is the primary goal of the Artemis program? Return humans to the lunar surface. Which mission took the famous pale blue dot image of Earth? Voyager 1. How many major NASA field centers are there, commonly cited? 10. What does DSN stand for, NASA's long-distance communications network? Deep Space Network. Which mission made the first close-up flyby of Jupiter? Pioneer 10. What is the name of NASA's heavy lift rocket system developed for deep space missions? Space Launch System, SLS. Which NASA observatory, launched in 2008, observes gamma rays? Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope.